What is up, YouTube, and welcome to Operation Gaming. If you don't know what happened yesterday was the big reveal of Black Ops 4. One of the biggest reveals in Black Ops history. They dropped a lot of information, giving us, the fans, a lot to look forward to. Here and today and over the next couple days, I'm going to be dropping a 3-video series about what was discussed. Each video is going to kind of cover different sections. Like the first video is going to cover multiplayer, second video is going to cover zombies, and last but not least, the third is going to be covering Battle Royale. All the information will be discussed in each of these 3 videos, so stay tuned, stick around, and enjoy. Alright, to get the ball rolling on this, for the multiplayer portion of the series, I'm pretty much just going to present you the information the same way it was presented to me during the reveal. That way there's no confusion on the communication parts, and it's just simple and easy to follow. Alright, so multiplayer was broken down into 4 separate categories. Weapons, health, situational awareness, and flow of gameplay. Each category was then broken down one by one, which I will proceed to do now and show you all the new and cool ideas that Black Ops 4 has to offer.
The first thing up is weapons. They highly emphasize the importance of weapons this game, and they know it's a huge focus on every first-person shooter game there is. No weapons, there's really no game. They started this section off by saying, and I quote, "We have made more improvements to the gun systems than the entirety of Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3 combined. We designed each weapon like it's a character in and of itself, to where the hot barrels are going to ooze smoke, muzzle flashes are going to burst and light up the room, and bullet impacts are going to be massive. Guns for the first time will also have real 3D trace, making it easier to where the gunfire, making it easier to see where the gunfire is coming from. Sorry. So it'll be more realistic. You'll be able to see, like, through your peripheral, see where the gunfire is coming from, or like if they're far away, you'll be able to pinpoint a location to see where they're coming from. Like for a sniper, if somebody's laying down in the back of the map and he's sniping you, it'll just be easier to see where he is shooting you from, which could be big. Another big thing that they added to this game is that each gun has its own set of attachments, which could, in my opinion, be really good or really bad, because I know some guns are like certain attachments, and if that gun doesn't have that attachment, that's gonna suck. And it just, I don't know, it reminds me a lot of World War II, where they had the individual classes, and I wanted a silencer on an AR, but I couldn't do that because the division, I think is what they called it, wouldn't allow me to put a silencer on my AR, which was frustrating. So like, it could be a good thing or bad thing. I don't think it's going to be quite like Modern Warfare 2. I think they're or World War 2. I wish it was Modern Warfare 2. No, I don't think it's going to be a lot like World War 2 in the aspects of that. But I think each class or each gun is just going to have 1 or 2 unique attachments, and then the rest are kind of going to be basic between silencer, and then some type of reticle or aim sight or whatever. The next thing that they're adding is big, is an operator mod for each gun. And one example they gave for the operator mod was a suppression fire. And for those that don't know what suppression fire it is, it's pretty much firing around an enemy. So like, even if you're not hitting him, you're still like concussing him and making it harder for him to see, which is really good for those people that don't know how to aim. You're still doing something to the enemy, at least. It'll either mean the next guy's gonna kill him, or he'll just be so badly concussed you can eventually kill him. So that's good. I mean, they can do a lot with operator mods. I did see in the video that there were different color bullets for like an LMG. So I don't know if that means they're gonna bring like incendiary ammo back, like not back, but like have something like that, like how World War II had for shotguns. They had like blue, red, and black color bullets. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's just one of the things I noticed. So we can see what they do with that. And oh, another thing that they did was, for the first time in game history, was that they used a true predictive recoil pattern system, which allows you to make micro adjustments when aiming. For those of you that don't really know what that means, it's going to help you if you use one gun a lot, it's going to help you aim and make adjustments while you are firing, to because you'll learn the recoil on the gun, and it'll just make it easier for you to use the more you use the gun. So it's a good thing. We'll see how. I think it's really OP on PC if you're good with it on certain games. But for PlayStation, which I'm a PlayStation player, so I don't know how it's going to affect me or not, but I hope it's good. And that's weapons.
All right, health. All right, so when it comes to health, the two big changes made to this Call of Duty that have never been done before in Black Ops history, even Call of Duty history, is that now there is a health bar above everybody's name. The health bar seems to be broken down into like 6 little bars, so I'm not sure how they're going to do it where one bullet equals 2 bars. I mean, obviously each gun is going to vary, but that'll be interesting how they do. I do like that they added that because I know sometimes when I play PlayStation, it looks like on my screen I hit them 7 times, but on somebody else's screen I only hit them 3. The health bar is going to really make it easier for each person to really see how much damage you've done to the other player and how much health they have left. So that's a good thing. The next thing that they added is that health regeneration is no longer automatic. What they've added instead of that is like this little syringe that you stab yourself with, and it looks to heal you instantaneously, but it does look like the syringe. I don't know if it has a name to it, but that's just what I'm calling it. The syringe you stab yourself with has a cooldown rate, so you can't just run around stabbing yourself, so that's good. I think it was like a 2-second cooldown, which isn't much. It allows you to stay in the fight always, but you can instantly heal yourself, so you don't have to wait a couple seconds after you fight somebody. It doesn't mean you're going to instantly lose the next fight you get into. You can stab yourself real quick and then get right back into the fight, so it gives you a fighting chance, which I like. Alright, so next we're going to be talking about situational awareness. For those of you that don't know what situational awareness is, it's pretty much the sights and sounds of Call of Duty. The way your minimap looks, the sounds your feet make on different materials, all those little details that help make a game really good and really fun. They really wanted to emphasize how much they've worked on this, and I feel like they have to say that because nobody wants the same sounds and same maps. It just helps boost the way the game looks. So I feel like they have to say that, but it does look, the gameplay from what I've seen does look really fun and good. The graphics look amazing. Another thing that they talked about in this section of the reveal is they introduced what they called the fog of war. They really amped it up and made it sound like something special and something new, but from the videos I saw, it sounded like just a motion sensor you would shoot out of a pistol. But there's a specialist that has an ability similar to that, so I don't know if they were talking about his ability or what, because online his ability is called something else. It's called a sensor dart, but this is called the fog of war, so I'm not entirely sure what the fog of war is. They didn't do a good job of explaining it, or yeah, they just didn't do a good job explaining exactly what it was. Well, if it's just a motion sensor, then that's cool, I guess. So next I'm going to be talking about the flow of gameplay.
Alright, so when it came to the flow of gameplay, they really talked about how each specialist is going to affect how the game is played out each and every time. So different combination of specialists you use and what the enemy has on their team are really going to affect the flow of gameplay, because a specialist will later name has the ability to have your teammates spawn off you and this beacon that she throws down, which is obviously going to affect the flow, because where people spawn in has a huge impact on how the game is going to be played, especially on objective-based games. So, alright, so now I'm going to transition into the 8 specialists that they talked about. I'm pretty much just going to break them down one by one about what their equipment is and what their ability is. There should be a visualization on screen. I'm just going to see if I can find video clips of each of them, but if I can't, just use your imagination. Alright. Many of you may remember this first one, Battery, aka Demo Expert, aka the chick with the grenade launcher. Her equipment in this game is the cluster bomb. It's a grenade that explodes and then releases little grenades after that that'll explode again. Her ability this game is the same thing, a war machine grenade launcher that fires bouncing grenades and then it'll explode after a short period of time. A new specialist we have for Black Ops 4 is Crash, aka the Healer. His equipment is an assault pack. So he has ammo crate, so you can throw down assault ammo on the ground. If you've ever played Battlefield, it's pretty much the same concept. You throw down a pack of ammo and anybody can get to it. His ability is the TAC-5. It's this little healing gun that you could shoot at people and it heals and also boosts their max health, so you can give them even more health. Next is Ajax, aka Breacher. His equipment is a 9-bang. If you've ever played any of the other Call of Duties, it's pretty much just a normal tactical grenade that flashes and stuns people. His ability is the Ballistic Shield. If you've seen the multiplayer trailer, you have noticed this. This was the Ballistic Shield that allows him to shoot a machine pistol. It's pretty much a built-in machine pistol to a ballistic shield, so that's kind of cool. Next up we have is Recon, aka Intel Operator. Recon's equipment is the Sensor Dart, which the Sensor Dart allows him to reveal enemies within its proximity on the minimap. I'm very curious on what the difference is between the Sensor Dart and the War of Fog, because I thought the War of Fog was like a motion sensor or something, but maybe I completely misinterpreted what that was. Anyways, Recon's ability is the Vision Pulse. It's pretty much a pulse sent out to a certain area around him to where he's granted almost what looks like thermal vision. Everyone just appears white and you can see him through objects and walls. Anyways, next we have is Torque, aka the Defender. Torque is a prime example of being able to mess up a team's flow, because if you're playing Hardpoint, his equipment is razor wire, and razor wire can be placed between doors or pretty much anywhere on the map, and it just damages people and slows them down. So it'd be good for controlling the flow of a team that just is constantly rushing. Alright, so we have Torque, aka the Defender. Torque is a perfect example of being able to control the flow of a game depending on like what game mode you play. His equipment is going to be the razor wire. You place the razor wire down and it'll help slow enemies down and damage them. It'll be, in my opinion, it'll be good use for objective gameplay like Hardpoint or Domination. His ability is going to be a barricade. You deploy a reinforced cover protection. You can head glitch behind it and shoot people. That'll be very useful for team play. Next up is another Black Ops 3 specialist making its return, Ruin, aka Rusher, aka Dude with the Gravity Spikes. His equipment in this game is going to be the grapple gun. The grapple gun is going to be useful from getting point A to point B really quick. And whether that point B is next to an enemy, getting the enemies closer, or getting to enemies, getting away from enemies. Either way, it's just going to be navigating the map, making it quicker. Again, getting back to that fast-paced gameplay. Next we have is Firebreak, aka Area Denial. Firebreak's equipment is called the Reactor Core, which the Reactor Core is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a reactor core you place on the ground, and it obliterates anyone in the area and sends them up in flames. His ability is the Purifier, which is a flamethrower. So many of you probably have used one of those in World War II. Very OP if you know how to use them. Last but not least, we have Seraph, aka Tactician. Seraph has the equipment of Tac Deploy, which I discussed this earlier. A Tac Deploy is something you throw down on the ground and it allows your teammates to spawn off that. Could come in handy in times where your team is trying to just apply a lot of pressure. Next up, her ability is the Annihilator, which is a massive high caliber revolver that fires devastating rounds. Very good at getting kill feeds. Alright, so I think that covers everything for multiplayer. I covered the specialist, I covered the 4 categories. Alright, sweet.
Lastly, they did make an announcement at the very end telling everybody that League Play will be returning to Black Ops 4. They didn't go into details on the subject, but they just announced it'll be back. So, with that being said, that pretty much concludes the multiplayer section of this 3-part series. Next, I'm going to do zombies. Be sure to stick around, like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter to stay up to date on all the Black Ops 4 news. I'm out. Peace.